educator and and being in the schools for the last like 4 to 5 years, I just came to the conclusion that I hate substitute teachers. like like I really think substitute teachers are the reason why schools are failing today. Like it's like terrible. And I'm not gonna like say that we don't need substitute teachers, because to be honest with you, if we didn't have substitute teachers, we won't have any schools. Like almost like probably like 40% of our classes are filled with substitute teachers. So we need them, but I hate substitute teachers. So you got like 4 different types of substitute teachers. You got that one teacher who's like, he's like a black man just found his blackness and he want to go back to the hood and teach his kids, and he's gonna teach them, and he has a right heart, good heart. He's cool. But then you got those one substitute teachers who just like trying to get that paycheck, and like they come there, they just give them the work, and then the kids just free fall, they ain't doing shit, and it's terrible. And so this one substitute teacher, he literally not doing anything at all. The kids are walking around, playing and stuff, and he's like, if you don't do your work, you're gonna get a bad grade. And I'm just sitting here watching the madness, watching the chaos and stuff, and the bell rings, and he walks up to me. He's like, man, I just don't understand these kids. I give them the work, they just don't want to do it. I guess they're just inadequate, right? And he looks at me, right? And I'm like, no. And so, I just don't, understand, just substitute teachers. But so one thing that like I really am focusing on, just understanding that, education is a big disparity. So understanding that we have to teach kids differently. And so this book that I'm working on is called Teaching Black Males in the Science Education and Science Classroom, where we teach kids from perspective of where they come from in their reality. So if I'm gonna teach you, I'm gonna teach you with the devices that you used to, whether that's hip hop, whether it's music, whether it's dancing. And so there's one song, actually there's one rap that I do whenever I approach kids, or when I first see them. I always I start off, I'm like, I'm a physicist, lyricist, spitting this ridiculousness, so witness these lyrics I dismiss. And the kids are like this. Nah, I'm a physicist / lyricist. I smash ignorance. It's a miss when I'm spitting this. They're like, that's my teacher? And so after I do that, they recognize that I got some type of different thing that's special, right? And so, I'm a science educator, so I teach science, right? And so when I'm teaching kids time, right? So time, the number one unit of time, the first one is a second. So the time that it takes me to say 1 second is 1,001. And so we're trying to conceptualize what measurements are for a second. So I say the time it takes to say 1 second is 1,001. And then I'm like, so what is the time for 3 seconds? 1,001, 1,002, 1,003. They're like, okay, conceptualize it. And so I put it in a song. I'm like, somebody tell me 3 seconds, somebody tell me 3 seconds, somebody tell me 3 seconds. And the kids are like, 1,001, 1,002, 1,003. I'm like, okay, somebody tell me 3 seconds, somebody tell me 3 seconds, somebody tell me 3 seconds. 1,001, hey, 1,002, hey, 1,003, hey. And when I start hearing them A's, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm doing something right, And teachers, the kids are saying, hey, and they doing all that stuff in your class, you're doing a good job. And so, that's just one big part, that I really love. I love hip-hop, love science, But there's one time, we were, how can I say, it was like a half a day, and, it was hot, and I was like, we're going to just go outside. And so I take my kids outside, and we're walking, and the way that the school works is like a big old like square park, right? And that a square is a quadrilateral that has 4 sides, so we're going up the first side. All right, so we walking up the first side, and the kids, they enjoying the breeze, they chilling, little kids macking with each other, I'm just chilling, whatever. We walking. We going up the first side. We make a left, okay? As we make that second turn, we're coming down. Parallel to us is this car, okay? It's a white car, and the car just like starts approaching as we're going this way. I have my eyeglasses on, so you can't really see my expression, but something's happening. And the kids is like, the kids, they're like, hey, Mr. Nellum, man, I appreciate you telling us to go outside. Oh, man, it's so good to be outside. Oblivious, they chilling. All of a sudden, the car comes, like, as it's approaching, the window pulls down, and this dude just pulls out this burner, right? And as he pulls out the burner, right? And I recognize that no one's recognized that something is about to happen, right? And he's just coming, right? And all of a sudden, the kids just keep moving. They don't even recognize it. And in my head, I'm like, oh my God, no one saw that. In his head, he's like, shit, I was supposed to scare them, and they didn't get scared. And so we're still walking, right? And so the car starts to like kind of turn back around. So as the car's turning back around, in my head, I'm like, oh shit, I gotta make a decision. I gotta figure out what's about to happen. And so I'm like, okay, it's a square. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Instead of us going around, I'm gonna go straight through. And so I just start booking. I start booking straight through the park. And then the kids, they see me, they're like, oh, Mrs. Nellum, I'm gonna start running. And they just start running. And then all of a sudden, the guy, he comes out and he pulls the window down. He's like, oh, damn, they didn't get scared. I didn't accomplish my task. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this, pick up a book or something. Yeah. That's it, y'all. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.